I had kind of an aha moment. I write about this in the book too, about how I walked into my bathroom and I looked down at my belly and I'm like, what has happened to me? Here I am, a fitness professional, and look at me. How did this happen? And then I started thinking about menopause. Oh, well, I'm that age. Of course, that's the problem. This is happening to me. I need to go see my doctor. So I went to go see my doctor thinking, okay, there's the metabolism issue, thyroid, whatever, it's all about menopause. I was going to get the medication. I was going to take it. Everything's back to normal and I will be able to drop this weight. And my blood work came back fine. So there was nothing wrong with me. And that's how it is with almost everyone. Very rarely is somebody going to come back with a legitimate physical condition. Right. But we like to think that it's a metabolism thing that's slowed down and now it's happening to us. And that's a victim mentality that I was totally in. And when the doctor told me everything was good, I felt like I'd gotten kicked in the gut because I felt like, well, it was not what I was expecting. And now it was kind of like, oh, crap. Now I've got to kind of look at me. Like I have to look at what I've been doing or what I haven't been doing for decades that has not worked. I have to actually face that. And that is super difficult when you think you've been doing something for decades the right way. And now all of a sudden you have to look at yourself and go, wait a minute, I have to take some responsibility here now. I have nothing else to blame, right? I mean, I used all my avenues. And so, I had to let that sink in. So after that, I started implementing small changes. I never started tracking or doing anything like that yet, but I started seeing some results. So I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. So then I hired Jordan. I'm like, I don't need you for nutrition. I just need you for powerlifting because that's what I thought I wanted to do. But of course, like I said, I read everything and I joined his inner circle, which I now help him run as one of the earlier members. And I implemented a lot of nutrition guidelines from the inner circle. And lo and behold, I mean, things just started to happen. And then he and I started talking more and more about nutrition, as a coach and client. And wow, everything just changed. And it was interesting. I feel like once I took responsibility for things that I wasn't doing that I thought I was doing, then that's when it all kind of changed. And that's hard to do. It really is.
Yeah. It's a reality check. Yeah.
Yeah. A slap in the face sometimes.
Yeah. And so I'm going to assume when you said you weren't tracking your calories yet, eventually you started tracking your calories for once.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, so I did. So I didn't use an app. And if I'm not tracking anymore. If I ever decided to track, I would not use an app either. I wasn't, I didn't grow up with this. So the last thing I wanted to do is get on my phone and have to learn a new app and crap like that. I'm like, no. So I started with a piece of paper and a pencil. And that's how I started. But I graduated to a spreadsheet. Okay. A simple spreadsheet, literally column what I ate, literally column how much, how many calories, how many grams of protein. That's what my spreadsheet looked like. That was it. That was eye-opening because I was totally not even close in my guesstimating of things, None of us are. We all suck at that. And I was really awful at it. So it was eye-opening, but it's one of those things you can use an app, and apps are great. I know they make it so convenient. You can scan stuff and they save recipes. And if I actually used recipes, that would probably be really handy, but I don't. So I don't track it all anymore. I don't need to, but I think if I did, I would probably still go back to a spreadsheet. And just to say that, just because you don't need fancy stuff to do this, right? A piece of paper and a pencil will work if that's what you like. Google can be your friend. How many calories and blah, 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 blah. You can really make significant progress that way, right?